Bozo de Nyingma ya zone molam jimbo ngabja da bakar darngan zando hirma do tumba thukje chan kibshan tsar shawaman chuje yanje bodana tisam sanje ganje ngo nye rangsum chuga ngonsum tomze zawe lama namla kibshan tsar Mahamanai Soha. Good morning, everyone. Again, it is very nice to see all of you here today. And first of all, just before we get started, again, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you who helped and make this opportunity to come together. So thank you again to everyone for being here to practice and support each other. Much appreciated. And this is, I think, as I said last night, is wonderful. Dharma vacation. Life is beautiful, I think, and it could be meaningful too, but it also very fragile, very fragile. Now, when I think about your life, I deeply understand why it is difficult to make time for your practice, because you don't have much time. You have to take care of your worldly life. It makes sense. But as Buddhist practitioners, it's very important to have a strong motivation and enthusiasm for your practice. You cannot lose your desire to practice even though you don't have time. Lots of even you don't have lots of free time right now. Especially when you have free time. For example, when you retire or even before your retirement, if you feel comfortable with your financial situation, if you feel you have enough, everything is really good with your worldly life, and then I think you should not make your life so busy with worldly things. Life is so important. It's very short. It's wonderful, beautiful, but very, very short. So last time we talked about this, there is an 80-year-old guy who works for post office and who is still working, even he has more than enough. You should not be like that. That's what I'm thinking, you know. Once you feel everything is comfortable, then I think practice is very important. I strongly advise you to make your future plan for Dharma practice. This life gives you a wonderful opportunity to make your life so meaningful. But if you waste your opportunities, then who knows the next time whether you will have this good opportunity again or not. And especially when you retire, you have almost like reached the end of your life. So don't concern yourself too much with your worldly life. You just need to focus on your meditation while you have the opportunity. I think this is very important. Why am I saying these things to all of you at the beginning of my teachings? Because I really think it's important for all of you to try and become a genuine Dharma practitioners. I think that's the most important thing and makes your life very meaningful. Therefore, I think you should make a plan for your practice. If you have a good plan, definitely you will accomplish your goals. Therefore, you should think about it for the future. As I said, before you're retired or after your retirement, you have to focus more your Dharma practice. The Buddhas and great teachers teach us how to realize and share love and kindness, compassion, and wisdom. So these sort of beautiful qualities are inherent within us. So our goal is to realize these qualities in order to benefit all living beings and ourselves. That is the purpose. Once you have some experiences and capacity, then I think you should teach the Dharma to others with your pure motivation. I think that's your goal. To teach others, very important, but with pure motivation. So that's why when I say like you have some experiences and capacity, it means like once your motivation, not selfish, and very pure motivation, then you have capacity to teach others. You don't have to teach Buddhist philosophy, but you can teach love and kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom, all of that things, okay? That's your goal. Anyway, I'm happy to have this good opportunity to talk about Shamatha and Vipashyana meditation. And in this retreat, I will teach you how to practice Shamatha, how to practice Vipashyana based on instructions from Möpam Rinpoche and Kamala Shilas. Möpam Rinpoche was the most important teacher in Nyingma lineage. You know that. You have to know that, right? You should know that. Number one is Longchenpa in Nyingma. Number two is Möpa Rinpoche. And then we are very connected to Bapta Rinpoche. So these teachers are very important. So therefore, this, what do you call it? This treasury of blessing, a practice of Buddha Shakyamuni, actually written by Möpa Rinpoche, right? So therefore, I'm going to teach you Shamatha and Vipashyana practice, based on Möpa Rinpoche's instruction. Actually, he has huge commentary for this treasury of the blessing practice of Buddha Shakyamuni. I received that when I was in Larong Monastery with Kanchen Jigme Panso. He taught this commentary a year. Okay, it's all about Buddha's his life story and also how to practice 6 paramadas based on Shamatha and Vipashyana. So it's not right now, it's not in English, but for sure in future somebody will translate it, right, into English. So then you have opportunity to study. But Möpa Rinpoche and Kamalashila, of course, he has Möpa Rinpoche was the student of great master called Jamyang Chense Wangpo, and also, of course, Bapta Rinpoche. And Kamalashila was a student of the great master Shantarakshita. And I received these teachings from Kanchen Pama Tsewang. And also I received Möpa Rinpoche's instructions on Shamatha and Vipaśyanā from Kanchen Jigme Panso. And also when I was with the second Anzam Drukpa Rinpoche, he gave us teachings of Shamatha instructions from the first Anzam Drukpa Rinpoche. It's actually very special. It's very special. First Anzam Drukpa Rinpoche was a treasure revealer. So these instructions, Shamatha and Vipaśyanā, these instructions from first Anzam Drukpa Rinpoche's treasure teaching. So I received all of that from second Anzam Drukpa Rinpoche, and they are very, very special. That's I think one reason that my first teacher in Kanchen Pama Tsewang sent to me to Anzam Drukpa Rinpoche's monastery, and then received these special teachings. So therefore, I'm very grateful for him. Otherwise, I have no transmissions today. But I have this very special transmission, so I will teach you some of that too if we have time. But most, we're going to focus on the Shamatha practice based on Möpa Rinpoche's instruction, just to let you know that. One thing that should be clear is that Dharma teachings have only one purpose, which is to discipline the mind, right? Discipline the mind. When you meditate, there are 2 things that are necessary. First, the mind has to be able to calm and focus on undistractedly on the meditation. The practice for developing the mind's ability to remain one-pointedly is called Shamatha. We need that. Because Shamatha practice is the foundation of our all other meditations. Whatever you meditate, the stages. There are two stages: meditation, or dzogchen meditation, vipassana, whatever. The shamatha practice is the foundation. Okay, therefore, with this basic practice, you should be able to discipline the mind, and when you are able to reduce the defects of the mind, then its good qualities will increase, like bodhicitta, wisdom, these two things. And that is the first. And then secondly, not only we need that, but the mind also has to be able to see or have insight into reality. The practice for doing that is called vipassana. Okay? That is my understanding on these teachings, shamatha and vipassana. When I was with the second Anzam Drukpa Rinpoche, we have a picture here. Probably you all know these teachers, right? So this is second Anzam Drukpa Rinpoche. And I received Dzogchen teachings completely from him over 6 months. And I started with shamatha practice. And usually you have to start with him, like we have here 37 stages, right? So you have to practice preliminary 500,000, all of that, and then after that he give you shamatha practice like that. But when I got there, I had a letter from Kanchen Pamatse, so fortunately I did, have to study preliminary all over again. So he gave me the shamatha practice, and he let me meditate on that first for 3 weeks, shamatha meditation, all day, 3 weeks. And then vipassana. After that, vipassana for 3 weeks. And then I tried to meditate on both together, or they called union, union of both of them for 3 weeks. So I can practice on shamatha or vipassana separately very well, pretty good. After 3 weeks, pretty good. But, it was very difficult to practice both together, because in order to do that, you really need the perfect view of Dzogchen, So that is not easy. And he told me that this is not enough. This is not enough. Milarepa meditated shamatha for 6 months, right? And he accomplished shamatha practice within 6 months. But me, 3 weeks, nothing, And Milarepa practiced shamatha day and night, actually. He put a candle, top of his head, and he doesn't want to move his body. It's just, he pushed So, of course, the 6 weeks, of course, completely. I will teach you more about shamatha, how you feel completely meditate shamatha, you're done, completed. So, that is not easy. Practice shamatha and vipassana in union. Maybe you don't know when I say union, what does that mean? But I will tell you more that. And my teacher, Anzum Drukor, which told me that the point is, like, he said, not enough. This is not enough. You have to continue to practice for your whole life. But I was very, very happy for received all of this sort of special instructions from him. Because I knew, before I went there, like Khenpo Sherab was student of Anzum Jasinjurme Dorje, right? Jasinjurme Dorje was the son of the first Anzum Drukpa Rinpoche. So there is connection there. So he told us this lineage is very special. So therefore I knew, before I know the oral instructions from Anzum Drukpa Rinpoche's lineage was very special, very, very special. That's why my first teacher, Khenpo Sherab, sent me there. It was really, really good for me because I had a strong motivation, enthusiasm, to receive the teachings from him and to practice. There was not much going on in my mind other than receiving the teachings and practice them. That's all I wanted at that time. That's all I wanted. I didn't care about anything. But unfortunately, I couldn't stay there more than 6 months. Like 5 months, I had no food and no money, nothing. And then he knew when one time I went down there, there's like town, I went there and begged for food, and he knew that. And he said, this is enough, so you have to go back. But I didn't care that. So, I was so happy to receive this sort of special oral instructions. And the first time I thought I have to receive these instructions. I can't practice and completely there. But once I received the instructions, then I will practice continue because I have everything, right? But that was actually wrong, when I have, I received all these instructions from him, and then after that, become kind of lazy. Okay, now I have all these teachings. I will practice. That's not good. Once you received, you have to practice, right there, every single day. I think that's important, because once you receive the teachings and you don't practice, what is the point, And then slowly you forget more the oral instructions. So therefore, it was really, really great time. And why I'm saying this, because I have, this is not, I'm talking, I will teach you the Shamatha and Vipashyana because I have the capacity and I am the best teacher. But I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that I have the great, the special lineage, actually. So therefore, I have this transmission, so I want to give you that. That's why I'm saying, just to let you know. So that was my motivation. Motivation was just, I guess I had fewer sort of that time, negative thoughts. Of course, I have negative thoughts, but fewer negative thoughts. So it was very easy to receive, I have a very strong motivation that I want to receive these teachings. So it was not very difficult to practice. But people are strange. Before you receive, as I said, the teachings, you're so excited and enthusiastic. But once you receive them, then you are not so excited to practice them. So you are satisfied with the teachings, and you think, okay, now I have the teachings, so I will practice them in the future. That's wrong, okay? In the future, you never know what will happen in the future. So you have to practice every day. Otherwise, you think about future, then you have less and less desire to practice, right? We have that experience. That is not so good, because only receiving the teaching is not enough. You have to practice them, okay? So that's very important. Keep that in mind. Anyway, shamatha is a single practice of learning to make the mind workable. Kamala Shila said that if you cannot focus on your practice and the mind is not peaceful, then you should practice shamatha first. Shamatha first. And vipaśyanā is developed through shamatha meditation. Therefore, Shantideva says you need to have vipaśyanā that is based on shamatha meditation, which is a peaceful mind, a calm mind, right? Because if your mind has many, many thoughts, then clearly you cannot recognize the true nature of vipaśyanā. That is because you don't have shamatha meditation. So therefore, shamatha meditation is absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. And the difference between shamatha and vipaśyanā is, in shamatha meditation, the mind is very stable, but not very clear, I think. Therefore, for the clarity, you need vipaśyanā. I think we actually can practice shamatha without vipaśyanā, but we cannot practice vipaśyanā without shamatha, I guess. Because in order to develop vipaśyanā, we need a peaceful mind. And we need to have complete sort of control of our mind in order to see the nature of mind. That's why shamatha meditation should be achieved first. Möpa Rinpoche said that the best way to practice shamatha for Buddhist practitioners is by focusing on the body of the teacher, the Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay? And it is important to remember his kindness, Buddha Shakyamuni, his kindness. Möpa Rinpoche said that. Because as you know, Shakyamuni Buddha was born into the royal family, but his motivation was not enjoyment for his life. You know that, right? He couldn't enjoy all the pleasures of this life when he saw all the sufferings of others. So he investigated about sufferings. And eventually he left the royal place and gathered accumulations of merit and wisdom and was freed from all negative emotions, and he eventually attained enlightenment. The great practitioners, first time, it's so hard, you know. Like we have a great example like Buddha Shakyamuni, when you think about it. He was born in a royal family. He had everything. But he understood that that's not source of happiness. So he left. And then after that, he went through so many difficulties and challenges, you know. We have nothing like that kind of situation. We have everything, but still we just don't practice. That is the lack of enthusiasm, motivation, strong desire to practice, you know. We have a motivation, you know, I want practice. That's in our mind. But we consider other things are more important than practice. Great meditators, others, not so important. I want just practice no matter what. I don't care, I have nothing. Once I have the teachings, transmissions, you know, instructions, then that's it. Then I have everything. But that's why I always tell you that how lucky you are and have opportunities. And don't waste these opportunities. As an ordinary person, of course, we need everything: food, shelter, clothes, everything we need. Based on that, nothing. We need then, once you have that, meditation. So important. If you don't have a strong enthusiasm and a great motivation, you never achieved, you know. Otherwise, the mind is wonderful, amazing. This capacity, you know, it's limitless. But we don't have that right now because we are very afraid to go through these challenges, you know. But once you have confidence, you know, then Buddha Shakyamuni is a great example, was just a human being like us. And now you think about him, millions of people, you know, taking his path. One person, you know, we can do that, you know, why not? So he went through very, very difficulties and challenges, but eventually he understood what is this problem, sufferings come from. How do we, find the antidote? And so he attained enlightenment. And after his enlightenment, he taught the Dharma, right, to bodhisattvas and many other gatherings of beings, right? So that's why first we have to develop our capacity. Once you have capacity, then what is next? To teach. That's it. To teach. That's the best way to help others. So that's why we have great example. Just follow, you know, Buddha Shakyamuni's, you know, history. So the Buddha is the embodiment of we say tsatam, tanzan, hirap, three things like discipline. Tsatam is discipline, kind of. And tanzan is concentration, your concentration, like shamatha. And hirap is wisdom. So Buddha is the embodiment of these three things: discipline, concentration, and wisdom. And he protects us from suffering with his great compassion and wisdom. Therefore, Mapam Rinpoche said that paying homage to him, seeing his name, and seeing his bodily form, picture, statue, and rest in the mind one-pointedly upon it on, etc. No matter how small, will become the cause for awakening. Maharaj said that. For us, Buddhist people, very important to understand about Buddha Shakyamun. Not important other teachers. If you can, that's wonderful, right? That's why we have a lineage class. It's so important to understand biographies of these teachers, so important. But more importantly, you really need to understand Buddha's history and his life. Because we have these great opportunities. We have this path because of Buddha Shakyamuni, Can you imagine, like, if Buddha didn't come, in this earth, and we don't have right now Buddhist path, this amazing meditation, these things. So therefore, we have to practice of Buddha Shakyamuni, and so now when you meditate on Shamatha, Maharaj which give us great instructions. So easy, like we don't need like complicated things, This is very profound and very simple, So this is how you do it, okay? I would like to tell you how my root teachers guided me. Because I always follow my teacher's instructions, of course, otherwise I have no capacity. So this is how you meditate on Shamatha. So you first sit in your correct posture, whatever is most comfortable, very important. Then examine your mind a little bit. And if you notice any strong thoughts or emotions that prevent your mind from relaxing, feelings such as desire, anger, or confusion, whatever they are, notice them and try to let them go, and then correcting your motivation before meditation. Okay? So how? Maybe a few people here. What is correct motivation? How do you correct your motivation? You should think and feel, I am very fortunate to have this perfect human body. This is how I correct my motivation. So I'm very fortunate. You have to recognize your life, You're fortunate to have this perfect human body, in which you have the opportunity to practice. So therefore, no matter what worldly and samsaric experiences I have during this meditation, I shall control my mind, and this meditation will be beneficial for myself, for others. That's how you correct your motivation. Maharaj said that our minds have been disturbed day and night by all kinds of conceptual thoughts and suffering from all kinds of negative emotions. Since that is so, I will now free myself from this. I will read this, this is from Maharaj. I will now free myself from these different conflicting thoughts. So I'm going to practice Shamatha and maybe Vipashyana by focusing on the Buddha's body, which is of such great merit and significance, even if it is just for a single instant. That's from Hermuch. So this is how you correct your motivation for every single meditation. Every single meditation. Buddhist practice, like it's not how long you practice, but the more important is the way you practice, how you correct your motivation, and how you practice, and how you end, how you finish. That's the main thing. And you should also make sure that while your body is on the meditation cushion, Bhaktivinoda Buddha said that, your mind doesn't wander somewhere else when you meditate. Your body and your mind should be focused on the same thing. And right before your meditation, you also need to think like this. If you are Buddhist, Guru and Buddha, think of me. I supplicate you, grant your blessings so that I may succeed. The Buddha's blessings are so important for us. But many people, when we say that, many people misunderstand what blessings are. Blessing must arise through the lineage. And more importantly, blessing arises from within your own mind. For example, when the positive qualities of your mind increase and reduce negative thoughts, practicing oral instructions from your teachers and the teachings of Buddha. In Buddhism, that is what is really meant by blessing. Do you understand? That is the most important. The Tibetan word for blessing means transforming into magnificent potential. Okay? Therefore, before you meditate, you have to request the blessings from your lineage, and therefore you start with the treasury of blessing and practice of Buddha Shakyamuni. That's why. And you recite it all the way until he is the great being, perfect embodiment of everyone, every source of refuge. Until that. Okay? You stop right there. You stop right there and then meditate on Shamatha or Vipashyana or both together right there. Now, this is how you meditate on Shamatha. Make sure you understand this, okay? Because we're going to meditate during this retreat like this. I'm not going to teach you any different other meditation. Just focus on Shamatha. So this is how you meditate on Shamatha. Imagine a place in front of you. This is the right after correct your motivation. A beautiful and pleasant image of Buddha that is not too close or not too far away from you. Whatever distance is right for you to look at. So that's why we have this picture. And you look at the image with your mind and your eyes and see it as a real sort of living Buddha in front of you. Okay? Real Buddha Shakyamuni in front of you. And relax both your mind and body. Try to relax both your mind and body. Then you can begin the actual practice of Shamatha meditation. The traditions based on the Pith instructions have so many different ways and different methods of meditation. But here today, let us follow Mapam Rinpoche's instruction, as I said. If you are not sensitive to disturbance from outside, when you begin to practice, then you should keep your eyes open, okay? Usually, like people I know, when you meditate shamatha, you close your eyes. But this time, if it's okay, you should open, eyes open, and look into the Buddha's body, which is the picture, directly in front of you. There's no visualization, nothing, right? Don't let yourself be distracted by any thought other than the Buddha's image. So you just look at it. And when your thoughts arise, bring your mind back to the image and look at it again. And but if you are sensitive to disturbance from outside, then you may find it helpful to keep your eyes closed, and bring the image into your mind, okay, and focus on it for a while, and then open your eyes, look at the image, like that. And another important for meditators is to remember to keep your balance between being tight and loose. When I heard this is the most, this is great methods, instruction for my meditation. Keep your balance. Balance is so important. Don't let your mind get too tense from inwardly concentrating, and don't let your mind get too loose from outwardly thinking too much, but stay in a relaxed and peaceful mind. So without your attention being too tight or too loose, and without losing your mindfulness, and focus your mind continuously on the appearance of the Buddha's form, Buddha's picture. Don't let yourself go to any thought other than the object of focus, and settle your attention solely on the Buddha's form. Okay? So it's so easy. There is no visualizations. There is just only one thing. Just look at Buddha's picture and relax there. Then you will see thoughts, emotions, feelings, so many things going on there. But that's fine. That's you should not think this is very special, the meditation is so important, very special. Don't think like that. This is like your normal life. Just to if you think like this is special, this is something, then it doesn't, then your mind is not relaxed, So just nothing. This is just very nature. Nature is so important. Very, just relax, and eventually you should focus one point without distraction as much as you can. Maharaj said that you can look at and focus upon his head if you want, his heart center, or concentrate on, space between the Buddha's, eyebrows, whatever, it is feel like you just concentrate your mind there without distraction. That is main thing. Okay? And then when the mind is little sort of concentrate, just rest and meditate on the energy of relaxation. And eventually, when an object doesn't seem necessary, you can let it go and focus on objectless shamatha. But this, I think this takes a while. When you can do that, you're actually ready to practice vipassana. Like if you're very comfortable with objectless shamatha, then I think you're very ready to practice vipassana. Maybe we practice shamatha a lot. Maybe you don't need object. But, as Muhammad said that even when you look at Buddha's image, there's great benefit from it. So I'm not saying you have to pick only this Buddha's image. You can pick any other object if you like. But if you want, this is the best way to practice shamatha for Buddhist practitioner. That's Muhammad said. So you should, with object, shamatha with object, practice. Maybe you can do both, sometimes without object, sometimes, most time with object, And when you're done with your shamatha meditation, then you should finish the rest of the text. Right? So before we start this Nyanji Chimbutsu, with your great compassion, you embraced the turbulence and degenerate world. This before that when you finish your shamatha, then you finish the rest of the text from here. And all the way until his mantra, Om Mani Mani Moha Manai Soha. You will say his mantra a few times and then finish. That's in general how you practice shamatha with Buddha's form. Okay? But I will teach you more in detail next time about it. Okay? But this time we'll do that. Do you understand? Very, very good. So now meditation then. Meditate. What is the first stage? First step is by generating a bodhicitta mind. Bodhicitta mind. And then you have little bit the visualization, visualize in the sky before, in front of you, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, especially Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay? And when you have visualized that, then we will recite the Shakyamuni Buddha's prayer with his mantra. And after that, I call blessing supplication prayer. So you have that. And then meditate on shamatha, as I told you, just to concentrate on the Buddha's image. That's the thing, and nothing other than that, okay? With good balance, okay? So sometimes you feel when I say, when I meditate, focus on Buddha's image and nothing else, I feel should I do something other? This is very simple. This is just, maybe I need a little bit more than that's not true. So you just focus on Buddha, not other than that, with good blessings. And so you don't have to think any other than focus on his image, okay? And So more importantly, when your thoughts arise, bring your mindfulness back. I will teach you more about mindfulness, but most of you understand mindfulness. And then relax. So that's my instruction. And if you don't like this meditation, you can meditate whatever you want, you like. That's totally fine, right? But the point is you have to relax your mind, okay? Whatever the method you are going to use, it doesn't really matter. The point is you have to relax your mind and let go all thoughts, emotions, and feelings. Okay? Ordinary people, they are so important. Practitioners, thoughts, feeling, emotions, not so important. So just try to let it go and relax. You understand? Very good. Now we have this. You have this? The first is, this is from Treasure of Blessing and Practice of Buddha Shakyamuni. Very, very famous, this text. By the way, I'll just let you know that. This text, the Treasure of Blessing, right now, these days, of course, Nyingma, more than that, Sarja, Karja, Gelu, most people practice this text, right? So this is very famous, and especially these 4 lines, with your great compassion, this 4 lines, that's actually, Murphy Rinpoche has the 100 of pages like commentary on these 4 lines. That's I told you, right? I received this commentary within a year, from Kanchen Jingme Panso. 100 of pages for these 4 lines. So these 4 lines, I always say the teaching, before teaching, I will say this. So this is very famous. This is, very, great. And, we should recite this. And then Mane Mane, Ma Mane Soa. And then we have blessing supplication prayer. Once done that, then you meditate for, 10 minutes. Do we have 10 minutes? Probably not. Oh yeah, we don't. Yeah, let's. We'll see. I will let you know. Okay. With your great compassion, you embrace the blends and degenerate world. Made 500 medi aspirations. You are exalted as the white lotus. Whoever hears their name shall never return to samsara. Most compassionate teacher, to you I pay homage. Om Mani Mani Maha Manaya Soha. Grant your blessings so that I realize primordial purity is the true nature. Grant your blessings so that I recognize whatever arises is my own mind. Grant your blessings so that I liberate delusion into its own natural state. Grant your blessings so that I increase my meditative sensitivity. Grant your blessings so that I realize enlightenment in this lifetime.